Welcome to Life Renewal Gospel Ministries. I am Pastor Bartholomew L. John. I am grateful that you are watching, and my expectation, my hope is that whatever we talk about will be useful in your daily walk and in your spiritual maturity. And those topics that we have discussed, I think they should have enough to set a foundation for your spiritual growth. So let's look at another of those passages, issue that concern most of us, especially those of us who have passed our prime, and that is the reality of aging, the life of Joshua. And here are some relevant scriptures. My text is taken from the book of Joshua, the 13th chapter, verses 1 through 7. I'll be reading verses 1, 2, and 7 from the King James Version. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years, and the Lord said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines and all Geshuri. Now therefore, divide this land for an inheritance unto the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh. There is a common saying among some people as they aged, as they get older. The first is, age is just a number. And the second is, I am too old for that. Well, both expressions indicate a misunderstanding of the reality of aging. On the one hand, those who say that age is just a number, they are implying that they could do what they used to do when they were younger, only to find out that they don't have the stamina, they don't have what it takes to perform the same way. And even if they could, they realize it takes much more time and effort with very little results, if any. On the other hand, those who say, I'm too old for that, they are dismissing the tremendous wisdom and the knowledge and experience that comes with aging, where they could make some modification with their experience and still get their assignment done. So in this message, we're going to look at the life of Joshua and how God recognized his aging and modified his assignment that he could still complete his mission that God had assigned him to accomplish. All right, so before we go back to the text, we want to look at him because God had replaced Moses with Joshua. We want to look at that and explain why Moses was replaced, why Joshua took Moses' place. So let's go to Numbers chapter 27, verses 18 through 20. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thy hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. In our world, it is common that some will remove somebody in a position because of the age and assign a younger person. Sometimes it is warranted. Sometimes age has set some limitations. And you need somebody who is able to do the assignment. So replacement because of age is common with man. But God does not replace somebody simply because they were old or the age. Moses was not replaced because he was old. Moses himself understood why God took him out and put Joshua in his stead. Numbers chapter 20, verse 12 explains why Moses did not lead the children into the promised land, and God replaced him with Joshua. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. You're out. Moses, you're out. Disobedience. Disobedience will always get you canceled, not your age. Your faithfulness, no matter how old you are, God will keep you in your assignment. God did not replace Eli. God did not replace any of the old prophets because of the age. It was always disobedience that caused God to cancel that chair. So Moses is not going to take them in. God has chosen Joshua. Joshua is young. He's a young man. And he is a warrior. He was a spy. He had led the war against the Amalekites, against Amalek. So he is a warrior. He's young. He is bold. He is brave. He could run up mountains. He could jump on rocks. He could cross rivers. He's good, and he's a good leader. And God now is going to push him into the assignment. As we look at Joshua chapter 1, God is now going to command him with a mission. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, For unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. So Joshua is destroying the nations, his conquests. He's a militant leader. He's young still, mature, and he's following God's lead and God's protection. But see, the law of aging, that's a natural process. No matter how young you are, from the time we are born, it starts. The aging process starts and continues until the end. You cannot stop it. You cannot evade it. God recognizes that. God doesn't expect us to stay young. And so what he does, he recognizes our age. And God will use us at any age. So now, Joshua, this young Joshua, he's not going to stay young forever. And God knows that. And so as we go back to our text, we find the reality of aging. Joshua is no longer young and able to do the things that he was able to do when he was young. Verse 1, Joshua 13. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years. That's it. He is old now. Some of us, we don't like to be called old. Some of us act as though we're still young, but we're old. Age is a reality. God will use you at any age, but he's old. The Bible tells us Joshua is now stricken in age. There is no, the signs are there. That's what it means. The evidence is there. He's no longer the youth. He cannot do what he used to do. He may still at a certain degree, but he is not the man he used to be. Things have changed. Time has caught up with him. And God recognized that. Second part of verse 1. And the Lord said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed. God said, listen, Joshua, God is not mocking his age. God is acknowledging. You're old now. You're stricken in age. You cannot do what you used to do the same way. But God is not in the business of replacing somebody just because that person has aged. He recognized the aging. And he recognized that Joshua did not finish his task. So what will we do? We will replace him with somebody younger, somebody more robust, somebody fitter. We think that if we get somebody younger, we'll get the job done. Remember, God told Joshua when he commanded him, you will distribute the land. You will share the land out. You will share that land out. You will distribute that land among the tribes. God said, you're old now and you have not finished the job, but guess what I am going to do? I'm not going to replace you, Joshua. I'm going to still allow you. I don't expect you to go fight as before. You're not going to put on your sword and shield as before. But I want you to divide the land, even if the land has not yet been conquered. Verse 7. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance unto the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh. You see, the old strategy when Joshua was young, this warrior. He went, he conquered, then he assigned. He conquered, then he assigned. God said you cannot wait till all the land is conquered. There are enemies still in the land. There are the Philistines there, the Hittites there. There are different nations there. Each poses a unique problem for the inhabitants, the new inhabitants, the children of Israel. But God said, I want them to learn to defend their own land. Don't wait for Joshua to clear the land, because he is not able to clear the land, but he will finish his assignment by just assigning the land. God told him to cast lots, and Joshua followed God, and he cast lots. And God, he divided the land as God has instructed him when he was young. And what that tells me, that God rewards faithfulness. God does not reward you because you're young. He'll use you for an assignment that fits your description or your physical ability. But he will not throw you aside when you're old and feeble and can no longer do what you used to do. God finds another way. He finds other ways for you to get the job done. I don't know, I think about us. Sometimes we limit ourselves. We believe there are certain things we cannot do because we're old, and we accept it. We say, well, I'm old now. And we are not finding ways to accomplish things. And God told Joshua, I think Joshua was probably just there. He was not fighting anymore. And God said, yeah, you don't have to fight to assign the land. Assign the land. Do what I have commanded you, because God will enable us to do if we are willing to do. I don't want us to be on either extreme, where you're young, you're old, and you're acting young. Sometimes we make ourselves a fool. We make ourselves a fool. We talk about stuff, and we cannot perform stuff. And people laugh at us. But at the same time, I don't want you to put yourself down, put yourself in a corner because of your age. God uses any age, but you can tell that you are useless now because you age. The work that you used to do, you cannot do it because you're just older. And right now, many of us listening are not stricken in age yet. We may be older, but we're not stricken in age. So have this mindset. If you're working for God, if you're in God's kingdom, God will make the assignment suitable for your age, that you can still be able to perform it. Divide the land, Joshua. Divide the land. And Joshua went. Joshua assigned the land on each one of the tribes. Whatever land they inherited, it was God by lot. Whatever land they inherited, they had to go fight and clear it out themselves. But Joshua's job was done. And you see, whereas Moses did not finish his task because he disobeyed God. He rebelled against God. His anger and temper got hold of him. Joshua maintained his temperament. His just physical abilities failed. And God recognized and honored him still and said, you can still finish what you have started if you are faithful regardless of how old you are. When I think about aging, your body rebels sometimes. Your body tells you, your organs tell you, your lungs tell you, your heart tells you that You're talking to your heart, talking to yourself. You know how our mind, we think we're young in our mind. And we say, I could do that until you start. You realize you can't. That's okay. Just find a safer way, find a wiser way to get it done. You can. God will find a way for you to get it done. Much land is left, but you can do it by modifying the assignment. Joshua died at the age of 110 in Joshua 24, verse 29 tells us he is 110. So he governed for 20-something years. And he still couldn't get the job done in his youthfulness. But God used him in his old age to accomplish the task. Now, God respects age, right? God realized there are some young people, you're too young for certain things. You're too young for certain things. I know those young people today, they think they're ready for stuff. And they get involved in stuff they're not ready for. Look, God had a minimum age for the military. Minimum age. Now, here you could get in the military if you're 18. God's age was 20. Minimum age in Numbers chapter 1 verse 3. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by the armies. Those who have the ability, and they were 20 years old. God knows us better than we know ourselves. And he said, if you're younger than 20, you're immature, too immature to serve in the military. You're not ready yet. You're still staying home with your mama. He set that boundary. So he said from 20, he's ready for you. Do you remember in the wilderness, God said those who were 20 and older, who murmured, did not enter the promised land except Caleb and Joshua. 20. That's God's cut off age. He sets limits. Now, however, the Levites, ministry, the Levites, those priests who ministered in the tabernacle, God set an age for them from 25. You have to be at least 25 years old to 50. You're still serving, but he said those who serving, your service is from 25 to 50, 25 years of service. You're still in the tabernacle, but you have a different assignment. Because God recognized ability, diminishing ability. He recognizes that too. God will give us based on what we're able to produce. He's not going to give you something and he knows that you cannot or you will not be dedicated to it. It's not because of your age per se. Yeah, there are age limits, but it goes by the ability. So if you're older than 50, you're old. Once you're in your 50s, you're going down the hill. But that's all right. Make up your mind that you are going to go through as long as you could go through. And don't let your age be a restrictor of what you can perform. At the same time, recognize your age and make yourself to understand there is no shame in your diminished ability. That's the law of aging. That's the reality of aging. The body deteriorates, the organs deteriorate, everything is dying, and soon we're going to die. But do not limit yourself just because of your age. Look at your ability, and if you're able to do it, still do, because God is not going to discard you because of your age. Well, there's a hope for this. They call us old bags. Some people say old bag, and they make fun of you. But I want to end with that scripture from Psalm 92, verses 13 and 14. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. God expects us to perform still. As I said, He may have to modify the assignment. So with God, as your age is not replacement, except for disobedience, but modification. He will reassignment. He will reassign you. He will change the nature of the job and still enable you to finish this job. So be encouraged. If you're young, work for God based on your ability. If you're old, do what you can do based on your ability. For God is not going to discard because of age. But disobedience will get you out of that assignment in a hurry. All right, I hope this will change your mindset. Until next time, God bless. Peace.